So let's try this again. And so happy you're here, Joanne. So my name is Adaptogen. I help stress professionals improve their life by helping them with their mindset, with their energy, and with their finances, if they so wish. But my real passion is helping people be less stressed. I have had a lot of stress in my life. I have really found out how painful that can be to be under a lot of stress, quite literally, because I've had autoimmune diseases come on as a result of stress. And so I really know that stress is a big deal. Thank you for the hearts. So this is the first video in a set of 6 videos I'm going to make this week talking about adaptogens, because adaptogens are amazing. They are God's gift to humanity, and more people need to know about them. So we're going to talk about 6 different adaptogens, and today I'm going to talk about Rhodiola. That is a relatively well-known adaptogen. You can find it in the health food store. You can find it in all sorts of places. But what is it? So first of all, what is an adaptogen? An adaptogen is generally a plant that grows in the Arctic or the subarctic or in mountains under stressful conditions, difficult conditions. And the beautiful thing about them is, for whatever reason, plants that grow under these conditions produce substances that help humans deal with stress. And that's kind of amazing, but it's true. It's been scientifically proven with actual tests, with like double-blind tests and everything. And Rhodiola has been used by Russians and by Scandinavians for centuries for medical purposes, mostly stress relief. But Soviet scientists, thanks Joanne, Soviet scientists really got into the whole adaptogen thing, and in the beginning of the 20th century, they particularly were working on those for athletes. So today I want to talk about Rhodiola. Later in the week I'm going to talk about other adaptogens. But just to tell you, I'm going to make a PDF with all the sources of my information about adaptogens. So if you want to have that, just drop me a message, let me know, and I'll be happy to send it to you. So Rhodiola. Rhodiola is, as I said, it's a plant that grows high up in the mountains in Europe and Asia, and it's a well-known adaptogen. And what does it do? So I'm just going to be looking at my notes, just so you know. So first of all, it decreases stress, which is interesting. It doesn't make the stress actually go away. Like if something bad happens to you, that it doesn't make that thing go away. What it does do is it helps you cope with the stress. So it decreases the stress response in your body. It decreases that, it just makes you calmer and makes it easier for you to deal with it. It also fights fatigue. That's a reason why the Soviets were so interested in this for their athletes, is because studies have shown that if you take Rhodiola, it will actually decrease feelings of fatigue, and you'll be able to work longer or exercise longer than you would have without it. Okay, that was point 2. Point number 3, it reduces symptoms of depression, which is kind of amazing. Actually, people who have been diagnosed with depression, there's been studies that if they take Rhodiola, they just feel a little better. Like, it's not magic, but you know what? I'm sure it beats taking, SSRIs. So, number 4, it improves brain function. So, again, the Soviets were very interested in that for their astronauts, and generally for scientists, for students, and for athletes. If you can think better, I mean, just think of what's been going on just now in the Olympics that we had. If athletes are not completely together with their mental health, and their physical health is not going to work very well either. So Rhodiola is really helpful in improving your mental powers, your brain function. And then it says it increases exercise performance. So specifically, not just reducing fatigue and improving brain function, but it can actually improve your exercise performance. Like, for example, if you are a gymnast and it might give you just that extra edge, that ability to focus a little better. What I found really interesting is number 6 on this list, is that it might help with diabetes, which is interesting. Now, this is work that was done with rats. All the previous things I was talking about, studies done with humans. These last 2 I'm going to talk about. This one was done with rats, diabetic rats. When they gave them rhodiola, they required less insulin. So that's, a helpful thing. If you, again, I am not an MD, I don't play one on the internet. Talk with your doctor if you're diabetic, but rhodiola might be something helpful for you to take. And then the final one, which is really interesting, there's been test tube work which suggests the rhodiola might be helpful against cancer. But again, this is just test tube studies. I'm not saying if you have cancer that you should take rhodiola instead of doing what your doctor tells you, God forbid. No, listen to your doctor. But it's just interesting to know that there's been studies that suggest that rhodiola might also help with cancer, which makes sense because it has such an effect on the brain. So just to summarize this 7 points about rhodiola, so it decreases symptoms of stress, it can fight fatigue, it can reduce symptoms of depression, which is helpful for a lot of people, it can improve brain function, it can improve exercise performance, it may help with diabetes. These are rats studies, so they haven't done this with humans. And number 7, even more speculative, only in a test tube, it might be helpful against cancer. So anyway, just wanted to tell you this about rhodiola. Later in the week, I'm going to be talking about some other adaptogens, and I will be putting together a PDF with the sources of all this information. So if you would like to have that, just drop me a message. Happy to share that with you. So you have a great day, great evening. Remember that I love you. Talk to you again soon.